a pretty populated area. I'm kind of nestled in between a state park and a highway here. A little noisier than I'd like. Got a few people walking by with dogs or just walking by. There's a hiking trail not far from here. I don't really want them to see me back here setting up, just in case they could call the authorities on me and get me kicked out of here, get in trouble. But I'm gonna remain as stealthy as possible. Well, hopefully that wind dies down a bit. If there's one thing I hate camping in, it's wind. I'll take cold, rain, anything but wind. But after sitting in the house for a few weekends, I figured it was time to get back out, wind or not. Got another dog walker walking by. I actually found this spot, stumbled across it when I was shed hunting in the woods a few months back in January. It was still snow on the ground. Came back here and I said, man, this is a really cool, unique spot. What I'm doing here is making a bit of a windbreak for this shelter. Hopefully it'll make it warmer and less windy in there. So just gotta pile up trees around the outside. On the shelter here, there's two open sides, so what I'm trying to do is fill in. I don't think I can fill in the other side. It's pretty wide. I'd have to probably take a few hours to do that, so I'm gonna fill in this one side real good and create a windbreak. Hopefully the wind doesn't blow from the other way. Alright, port's coming along here. Got a good shelter going. See how warm it stays. Alright, well, what we're going to be doing tonight is somewhat urban stealth camp. I'm nestled in between these two trees here. The root balls are fairly built up and create a good structure, great shelter, good windbreak. Been out here a few hours. We bike camped in today, and luckily the wind is dying down. It started as a fairly windy day, gust up to 20 miles an hour, so hopefully it dies down. Said it was gonna get down to like 6 miles an hour, so hopefully that's what happens. What's nice about camping in between two root systems is you got plenty of spots to hang stuff. And I think I could have got a pretty sweet setup for a hammock in between these two root systems, but I'll have to try that next time. Tonight I'm gonna sleep on the ground. Got my Big Agnes inflatable ground mat that I'm gonna put out. Also got like a ground tarp, gonna lay down, and there's some nice leaves. Looks like the leaves got piled up pretty good on this side of the shelter, so I might use that as a bit of a ground break and also create some warmth in those leaves. If you pile up a bunch of leaves, you end up getting quite a bit of warmth, especially in the winter. I'll notice piles of leaves sometimes. We used to play in them and they'd be steaming, be nice and warm. If you ever were in a survival situation, find a pile of leaves and hunker into that. Saw two people coming in on this trail here dressed in all black and got a little spooked. Came out here to check it out, but it was just two dog walkers. Want to see from the trail here if you can see the shelter at all back in there. There's an open area here. It looks like an old deer trail down through here, but no, you can't see it at all. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way you can even see the shelter from here. A few times I did walk through this area shed hunting, I did see a few fox back in here, a couple of red fox, and just now I found this jawbone. Looks like a fox jawbone. Because you got the canine right there. With that canine, I don't know what else it would be. Looks about the size of a red fox, so I don't think it's a coyote. It's gonna be most likely a red fox jawbone. What's nice about this Big Agnes inflatable sleeping mattress pad is that it has its own blow-up system. You just use this bag to blow it up. Kind of nice. Got a couple deer passing through over there. look like does, but this time of year it's hard to tell. I did see a nice 8-pointer last weekend walking through this park with both sides of antlers still holding on, so he hadn't dropped them yet. I wanted to show you how close that building is. You got like a office park over there behind us, not too far off, and you can see there's nobody in there, but the lights of the building are on all night. So I just had a herd of deer come up to the shelter over there, snorting and wheezing at me. I'm in a strip of woods that's between a highway, a park, and office buildings, and I'm kind of camped right off about 200 yards away from those office buildings. But the fox right there. There he goes. Also had a red fox come by, and he's been barking off in the distance. Don't know if you've ever heard a red fox bark, but it's somewhat haunting to hear in the woods. It's a spooky sound they make. I kind of like it though. Look at the size of that spider. Oh my god. Dude. That guy is huge. Wow, just came out of those leaves there. It's pretty cold for them yet. That's probably why he's moving so slow. Alright, that's it. Gotta move campsites. Can't mess with spiders, man. Nice and cold. Just gonna hit the spot. It's a Maryland crab soup, nice and spicy too. Well, man, chunks of Maryland crab in there, Maryland blue crab. Vegetables. Man, that's good. Soup's the way to go, especially if you can get yourself a good local delicacy. Camping not too far outside the city, this little strip of woods here. A lot of deer in the area, a lot of fox. Look at that, big old chunk of crab. There's a beautiful 10-point buck that lives near here. He's got a nice big white snout, big antlers, big wide rack, mature buck, and I was waiting for him to drop both his antlers, and all of a sudden I saw him one day without his antlers on, so I knew the thicket where he beds down. Sure enough, I go in there and there's a ton of dog footprints in the snow and people tracks on the outside of the thicket. So sure enough, somebody, I think, beat me to it, went in with their shed hunting dog who's trained fine antlers and got both sides of that buck, and they were nice. I mean, the window of opportunity snuck in because I was there the week before, and then he must have went midweek, got those antlers, and then I showed up that weekend. So I'm still upset about that one. This area has quite a few different deer in the area, as well as piebald deer. There's a herd of them. I've actually seen like 3 or 4 different piebald deer, which is pretty rare, and this area just happens to have a family of them. I don't know if they're pushing on that gene every year, but there's a couple in the area that I saw that one on the way in. Thinking about actually setting up a tarp overhead in between the 2 root balls here, create a shelter, and kind of like sleeping with something overhead to block, feel a little safer, a little more shelter. That red fox is going nuts. Woke me up out of a sound sleep. At first I had the thought that a woman was screaming or something. I've never heard one make so much noise. He's still out there screaming. Well, that was pretty cold sleep. Wasn't too bad, but feet are pretty cold. All right, morning, cold morning. Wasn't too bad to sleep, besides getting woken up by the red foxes barking all night. Let's check the temperature gauge. I can build the walls up around this root system here in the warmer weather, and I'll be hidden a little more from the trail and the canopy above. Might be able to have a fire here. I'd like to have a fire now, warm up, but I don't think that's gonna work. Check out this area a bit, and then I'm gonna pack up and bike my way out of here. So this is how high this root system is, about 12 feet high. Creates a really good wind block as long as the wind direction is in the right direction. You can see this whole area is uprooted in trees, so they must have had a really bad windstorm come through here at one point. I definitely enjoy sleeping in a hammock a lot more. No matter how thick your ground sleeping mattress is, you always feel every imperfection of the ground. You pretty much would have to have a perfectly level and flat area to not slide, or it was just pretty uncomfortable. Oh, there's a dog walker. I don't think they saw me. And if they did, they won't be able to identify me. That's a pretty good drop down there. Hands are getting really cold. I don't know, I'm gonna show you what it looks like from a little bit farther away, how hidden it is. This was bike packing to a stealth camp in between two giant fallen trees. Worked out pretty good. One last look at the trees. Pretty sure I could mount a hammock. This root system's pretty strong. I could just tie into that, run a hammock across to this side, you know, and just find somewhere on this to attach to. Got a lot of different options. These, I mean, these aren't gonna break for sure. They'll definitely hold my weight in a hammock. You could even put logs all the way up around this thing. Be kind of cool to do that. Hear a red-tailed hawk in there somewhere. Well, I'm gonna take off. It was a successful urban stealth camp. Where's that hawk at? Oh, he's up there. Adios. Just a few miles and I'm out of here.